time. Let's go.
We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing. Getting with the coverage, we loving it all day. Picking up the news, tell us wherever the ball lay. With the NFL, NBA, they box so. Sports news in the hands of a man with fan takes. Tell them, coach, statistics and realness that's being spoke. Either hit it for the win or they hitting the goalposts. Either way, we woke up to the news of the day. Any kid he could call it, he like to talk it out with Ray. Fast breaks down the lane, they better move out the way, or they pulling from perimeter. Curry, bury the trade, yeah, they got it. Woo! Duval with the hottest, Chris and Dev like the master, and mix it up like it's Logic being modest. They been looking for that real, trying to get it feel. Sports podcast, they run it back on the real. That's a steal, yeah. They never sick, but they ill. Real sports talk going, deliver, signed and sealed. We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing.
In the building, it's your boy, Mr. Ray Bond. Excited to be here on this lovely Thursday. The week is almost out. It has been an amazing week, and by amazing, I mean extremely long, and I am so thankful to God that I've almost made it to the end. I hope everyone out there is doing great. I know we have me just right now. I think I have somebody join later, but there's been too much going on that I couldn't let too much more pass as we get ready to get in the football season. I have to start getting our predictions right. Y'all know how I did last year, did big numbers. They don't want to give me my credit, but I can promise you, I can show you what the records were. 40-23. So just so you know, I do this. I don't take this lightly. So I'll look forward to getting into that. But I got to start with a basketball topic. I know it is supposed to be a basketball offseason. But, ladies and gentlemen, Giannis Antetokounmpo has spoken, and if I am a Milwaukee Bucks fan, I am not in a happy place. I don't know if you all heard. I will try and pull it up quickly. He says, I would not be the best version of myself if I don't know that everybody's on the same page. Everybody's going for a championship. Everybody's going to sacrifice time away from their family like I do. And if I don't feel that, I'm not signing. So just to give you context, that is in relation to Giannis signing an extension in this offseason. Obviously, we know the money that potentially is ahead of him. We saw what Jaylen Brown got, over $300 million. Big money, JB. Said he wants to create a Black Wall Street in Boston. I'm not that optimistic, but God bless him. Excuse me. With that being said, let's get to it. I got to tell you, this is really bad news, and it's at a bad time. We're looking at a time frame where Phoenix just loaded up, and there have been rumors upon rumors upon rumors. Listen, don't hate the messenger, okay? I simply am a messenger, typically. A lot of times, I just be right. So let's get to it. You know what would be a great fit for the Greek Freak? You guessed it. A great shooter. You know who's going to have some money here next year? The Golden State Warriors. Listen, I'm not just talking here. Write it down. If Giannis doesn't get the buy-in he wants, and Giannis gets to hit the open market, NBA, you in trouble. Steph has already said he believes he's still in his prime. You don't want them problems, is what I'm trying to tell y'all. You don't want the problems that presents. I, for one, am all for it, but we got to wait and see. But I think it's time for, and y'all watch. Y'all watched me. I've never been the Chris Middleton guy. I stand in that. A lot in part thanks to FanDuel. He cost me money too many times. But in all seriousness, sound the alarm in Milwaukee. Woo-woo! Sound the alarm in Milwaukee. Trouble on the horizon. Sound the alarm in Milwaukee. But it remains to be seen. Unfortunately, we were off for a little bit, so I wasn't able to get to this story. So it's a little late to the initial story. However, let's not forget that this story had legs. James Harden, ladies and gentlemen, has been fined $100,000. James Harden came out on a China promo tour and said that Daryl Morey is a liar. Was very strong critique, and the NBA didn't like it, naturally. So it was fascinating to see a player get fined $100,000 for comments in another country. Coach Kenny has joined us. Coach, what's good?
What up? What up? What up? What up?
What is going on? I just got it's Thursdays again. Amazon Prime for the game tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
For preseason?
If you want to watch the Eagles game, you have to have a Prime membership. So we got to go through that again. That was fun.
Well, this may be like the tip of the iceberg, because I was reading something, I meant to put it in the chat, that Prime and ESPN are in talks to partner together to offer to do a direct streaming.
What does that mean?
Meaning that they're gonna create ESPN as a streaming service.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know there were some other rumors that Apple's trying to position to buy ESPN outright too. So
wow.
It looks like there's some stuff going on. But I was talking about James Harden, and not necessarily his criticism, but the fact that he got fined $100,000 as a player. Obviously, the Players Association pushed back on that. My question for you is, was that too excessive?
Yeah, I think that was a little excessive. Because if we're doing that, then we need to explain what he said that was out of bounds. Like if the guy was lied to, then prove that he didn't, what he said wasn't true, that Morey wasn't a liar. All right. So to me, it feels like he's the scapegoat for some shady business going on that they don't want to get out into the public. You know what I'm saying?
A conspiracy, you say?
And I'm not usually that guy, but like this is like
it was a
it just stinks
for saying he's a liar. All right, and by every report, that was the expectation.
And he doubled down on it. Like, you're not doubling down on something like that if you don't really feel like that you've been lied to.
You don't opt in if you think they're not going to trade you. Like, you took all my leverage.
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
I didn't understand the fine.
Well,
I know
hold
what
on
the
1
NBA
second
said.
before you
But
do that. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that he opted in because he didn't think he was going to get the same amount of he wasn't going to get as much money on the free agent tip?
no, I think Houston would give him a Van Vliet type deal to come home.
Yeah, maybe.
I think there's a couple teams that would pay James Harden because they believe. We saw what happened. We saw Russell Westbrook last year. We've seen people be able to bounce back and redeem themselves when they're bought in. And James Harden had a good game 1 and 2. It was just the rest of the series that was pretty bad. So he's shown flashes. Yeah, there's no doubt. I think he would have got some money. Kyrie got basically a max as well. So yeah, and he had
No, I'm not saying he wouldn't have gotten any money. I'm just saying that maybe he felt like, or maybe he got an indication that what he was going to get free agency wise, because he opted in is 35 million.
yeah.
So maybe he saw free agency wise that he wasn't going to get as it might have been maybe it's not as much money as he thought he was going to get, and he felt like he needed to opt in and continue to prove that his value was still up there. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah. I don't know. But it's been odd because that was a year ago. Was he gave Morey a discount because Morey loves him and he would always take care of him, and he
Right.
probably overpaid him and gave him too much power. So to go from that to this is like wow.
Yeah. It's clearly something. It is like I said. He ain't just blowing smoke. Like he did something to cross him, because he's not going on no public. Because we haven't heard. This is one thing we know about James Harden. And even though he's done these situations, he's been more of a passive aggressive guy. He hasn't been the public guy that said any. You know what I'm saying? So this not his MO. So he clearly got pissed off.
So yeah, I hope that I think they appealed it to an arbitrator. I believe was the last I got on that. So hopefully that can get resolved and corrected, or more details need to be revealed, one or the other. Also, update: Anthony Richardson is playing still in the Colts game. Colts have 17 points. So number 1 pick in the draft. Indianapolis has obviously had a tumultuous offseason with their star running back Jonathan Taylor. And we get a chance to see the team, and they put up 17 so far. So far, so good. Falcons. I have some Falcons friends that I'm going to be talking to, which that'll lead to another topic we'll discuss later. But good for Richardson. 6 of 12 so far. Not too bad, but yeah. Zaire Franklin with 6 tackles. Shout out to him starting a podcast. But let's keep it moving. To another player on the field. This was an odd story as well. Did you get a chance to watch or read The Blind Side by chance, Coach?
I watched the movie. I didn't read the book.
Okay. I actually did both. There was a time in my life I read a lot more.
Yeah, me too. I need to get
not
back to it.
Not so much these days, but I can read, just don't relax. But yeah, it was a great story. Won some awards. Sandra Bullock played a great role. People saving the day. Young black man made it to NFL. Turns out they scammed him. Got him to sign his rights away. Oh, I'm going to take a pivot. Coach Kenny, do not let me forget where we are, okay?
I got you.
Cool. Have you seen Swagger?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the Apple TV.
Yeah.
I have not.
shameless free publicity for Apple. You can send us some monetization if you want. We greatly
Oh,
appreciate it.
you know what
Use
I'm
your
saying?
products. Respect.
App Team Apple all day long.
But really, really good show.
Okay,
Like
I've heard that.
it's
I might
worth
have to add that
it.
to my because I don't have Apple TV, but I might have to add that because I've heard about that, and then I want to watch your boy Steph's documentary as well.
Yeah, definitely worth. Even if it's a 1 month free promo or something like. There's 2 seasons of the show. They cover a lot of diverse Black topics. It's based in Seat Pleasant, Maryland, which is right up the street from me.
Okay,
Durant's company is the one that produced it.
got you. And that's where he is. It based on? Is it loosely based on his life?
It seems like it.
Okay.
Um, Given the path that the kid's going and um, everything else, it's just a really good wholesome. We're actually considering starting it over with our daughter because it touches on some issues about parenting and
Okay.
going through something but not being able to communicate with the parents, and but they're seeing the results of a trauma that happened to her but they can't get it, and just making sure that there's open communication, but also they touch on the AAU kind of athlete and coaches.
Okay.
It's really good. And I'm only like 5 or 6 episodes in, so it's good show.
So, question: you
But
watch all? Do you watch All American?
I do not. I've heard it's
Okay.
good, but I
Let me
have
see
not.
if for comparison. Yeah, because that uh,
It came
if
off
you
more
like,
as the game to me, more drama-ish. And this is too, but it's basketball and it's kids, so it's more engaging.
okay, yeah, it is kind of game-ish, but in a high school setting. But they do have some foot. There is some football mixed in too. So there's some. I think I would say it's kind of like a high school version of the game where you still have the well. But at least you. Let me take that back. There's actually football scenes in this one. Like with the game, you saw like one football scene like every season. This one they
Yeah.
actually showed you they actually show you some practice and some game scenes. So it is a little different, but the drama element is there. So I think if it's similar to Swag, I think you'd like
Okay. I may have to check that out. Well, do you know what that's on?
it. It's on Netflix.
Is it okay? Then I definitely got
Yeah,
that.
it's on Netflix.
Just quick update. The Eagles are going for it on 4th and 3 on their own side of the field. And they converted. Big play, actually. Gutsy call, big play, good execution. But the reason I pivoted that way is because there's a scene in there with he might be Puerto Rican or Dominican, I don't remember. But basically, he's in school in America, and he's like the #1 prospect in the DMV. And that's DC, Maryland, Virginia for our international audience. We call it one Northern Virginia. You just got to understand if you're here.
Correct.
But there comes a point where basically they bring his mom up from wherever country she's from, and they show her all the glitz and the glam and the hoopla, and at the end they put a paper in her face and basically ask her to sign over her guardianship.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going. Got it.
And once she realized what's happening, obviously she's upset, she denies, and some other stuff happens. But in this situation, there was no parent to intervene. And I don't completely understand how this happened, but it's just really unfortunate that in a situation where you're supposed to be able to find love and support, you get let down and taken advantage of even more so than previous. So I don't know from a mental standpoint how he's doing, but hopefully he's handling this well. But I guess just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on the whole situation.
Yeah, it's I agree with you. It's really unfortunate because it's a situation where you would think that they were, or they were portrayed as if they were, they were his lifeline, and they basically, was in it to kind of really be, you know, a family. and it just seems like he was more so a pawn. I mean, they are capitalizing and made a bunch of money off of him because if he was, and the other part that I don't understand, and the other part that's crazy to me as well is that they were already. He seemed like they already were well to do. Like they had, just judging from the movie, like they had their own money, because the kid was going to a private school. So like it seemed like it wasn't struggling, they wasn't hurting financially. So like you really didn't have a necessary need to try to gain because most times, more often, more often than not, in these situations, it's usually people that don't have and they're trying to get their come up. You know what I'm saying? So like you didn't have to do that. So that's the kind of really what makes it worse. And the other part is that how come if this was because I did read a statement from their lawyer saying that that this is baseless and this is not the first time that he's done this da 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 da. Why in that statement that you didn't say that you didn't adopt him or never said that it was false that you didn't adopt him. You never denied that what I'm saying, that you had his rights. So that part to me, that's what makes this whole thing like really fishy and really sketchy and really, really shady. So it's just sad, man. And you want people to do what's right. And you kind of, I kind of see this in a, you see this in a different way. Um, coaching high school, I see like we have kids that come over that come over to our school. Like a couple of years ago, we had a kid that came over from Spain. You have these host families and these people that host these kids. And, another kid that was part of that kind of came over in the exchange is Udoka Azubuike that was at Kansas, the big boy that was at Kansas. And I believe he's at Utah. I think he's still with Utah, but I'm not for sure. But anyway, he was another guy that came over came over from Africa and came to Jacksonville. He was here, for his high school career. And you never heard anything about his host family or anything like that trying to capitalize or trying to make any money or he had any issues or anything like of that nature. So there are some good people out there. That's what I said that to say there are some good people out there that do it for the right reasons. But unfortunately, in today's society, man, money just dilutes and just makes things sometimes just taints the waters and just makes things just turn nasty and bad.
Yeah, that is unfortunately the case too often. I don't know from a financial standpoint, like you said, I think they do have some money, so I don't know what kind of money would be left or what kind of percentage he could potentially recover. That might be a lost cause, but I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Kind of what comes of it. But yeah, tough for him, and hopefully it gets resolved here quickly. But previously we had talked about running backs here, and none of them were getting signed at the time. And since then, and one of the quietest big time, I guess, signings I think I've ever seen, Ezekiel Elliott to the New England Patriots. I haven't seen any of. Has he played for them yet? Do you know?
No.
Play this week?
No, I don't. I know he hasn't played as of yet. I'm not sure if he's going to play this week.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Good throw. You got to make that play. What happens with him? Obviously, the running back situation is just sad, man. It's just really sad that it's come to this for him. But maybe he'll get this opportunity, help save Belichick, who's really been struggling in recent years. And if they can get something going with Mac Jones, Mac Jones, that we don't think will happen, but but my question for you, really, Coach, is should this be more touted, or is this really a nothing signing and Zeke is done?
I wouldn't say it's a nothing signing. I think it's an opportunity for Zeke. And I've said on the show that I don't think that Zeke is done. I still think that he could be an effective back. As long as he's utilized in in a rotation or in a tandem situation, kind of the same way. If he's utilized the way he was using Dallas, because he's still good at pass protection, he's still good at getting tough yards, he's still good at short yardage along that line, and I could kind of see him transition into that. I don't know if you remember the Jerome Bettis towards the tail end of his career. Like when he got to the tail end of his career, that was his job. Like he was that short yardage and that goal line back. So I think I could see, Zeke kind of transitioning to some semblance of that. I think he could be a little more effective. I still think he has a little bit of burst left to where he can, still, get you, still be effective out of the backfield and things like that. But I just think I do think that unfortunately though, this is really going to be his last shot because you know what I mean? He's going to have to show that he still can be effective in that role because we know with this position that it's a disposable position. So if he doesn't show a level of productivity, then unfortunately, he's probably going to be out the league.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do have to agree with you. Definitely not the ideal situation as a Commanders fan. You still, want the best for the players.
Right.
I'm always a player friendly guy, and he's had some really high highs and some lower lows. Um, but no, I am rooting for him. Hopefully, he has a good year. I just don't think much out of New England for this upcoming season. But hey, a couple bounces, injury here, injury there. You never know. Could change things. But speaking of things changing, specifically to the Patriots, I don't think we got a chance to react to Dalvin Cook also joining Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. I know we had picked our AFC East, and I think I was a little down on the Jets. My question for you is, are the Jets now the guaranteed favorite to win that division, especially with the news of Stephon Diggs' unhappiness in Buffalo?
Oh, I'm going to say yes. With that, well, I'm going to say yes with a caveat. If Buffalo finds a way to be able to trade for Jonathan Taylor, then I reserve the right to change. But as of right now, I would say the Jets are the favorite to win the AFC East because, to your point, man, we talked about this before. Anytime that there's tension, anytime that there's issues, with players being unhappy or being disgruntled, that messes with the chemistry and it messes with the locker room. So that ultimately, um, 9 times out of, especially when it's a on the field thing, which it seems like this is an on the field thing because he got his money, so it can't be the contract situation. So it seems like this is an on the field thing. So, um, which I don't totally understand, but that's another subject for another day. But anytime that you have these type of issues and it messes with the chemistry, that's usually a recipe for disaster. So with that being said, I'm going to say the Jets are the favorites right now.
I agree. This is different. Now, like you said, if Jonathan Taylor either goes to Miami or Buffalo, I think that changes things. I had Miami at the top of the list. So I think that can definitely do a lot for them. But Josh Allen and other starters will play in the Saturday's preseason finale as well. Justin Fields will be playing. So we should get to see some quality performers. Jordan Love will get some extended action, looks like.
Yeah, he needs all his reps.
Trevor Lawrence will be playing. So, yeah, we're winding down.
Which is different. Because like normally this last week, the finale is when nobody plays.
Yeah, I think it's because it's the weird 3-week thing. Because I don't feel like I've really even seen people play.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I'm really interested to see what happens. And I don't know if this came across anyone's ticker, but the Vikings cut N'Keal Harry, so he might be out of here.
Yeah, I didn't see that yet. He probably is.
So yeah,
And the rate was on the wall when New England, to me, got rid of him because they would have a lack of skilled talent. So
I'm
if the
still
kid,
let him.
if he could play, then he would still be in New England.
We agree. We agree. We agree. We agree. Um, yeah, so we will move it right on along to, and I thought we might be able to hold out long enough, but unfortunately, this show called Real Talk is becoming a show where all too often the cackling Cathys fail to show up.
Wait a minute. Did you just freeze?
We back?
We back.
All right. Oh my goodness. The cackling Cathys are trying to take me out, ladies and gentlemen. These Duck Dodgers.
Nonsense. You about to
Real.
you.
Chris, you have rubbed off on Dev. And Dev, I thought better than this. But it's fine.
We're not gonna let the people. We're not gonna let you mislead the people. My man Dev is holding down the family front. That's why he's not on. So Dev, hold it down. You know your family comes first. We're not gonna let him mislead the people.
Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp and Giannis said, leave your family. There is work to be done.
Yeah,
there is smoke to be caught. Oh, there is accountability that needs to be had, because all I've heard all offseason is how trash my team is going to be. And all I've been saying is, hey, if the quarterback's decent,
let you finish,
we can be good. And we are now the new record crushers. If you got a record, we crushing. 24 what? 24 no more. Hail to the Commanders. This is step one. I'm done.
I can't. You know what? You're as bad as these people celebrating winning a preseason like it's the Super Bowl. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you watched First Take on Wednesdays with Mad Dog, or what he mad about, but he went on a rant about this, which is hilarious, talking, just clowning you guys for celebrating and winning the preseason. You guys are running around, jumping around like this is really something worth celebrating. The fact that we're talking about a preseason game where no one cares, or no one cared about that streak. Only reason why you care about that streak is because it's your team that broke it. If it was anybody else, you would be poo-pooing it and saying it's just the preseason, so it ain't nothing to get too excited about. But you're holding. I understand though. You guys don't have much to celebrate. It hasn't been. It's been rough being a Washington fan. So I get it. I'm gonna let you cook a little bit. I'm not gonna take away too much of your sign, but I'm gonna just make sure you don't get out of control.
It is a new day.
See, that's what I'm saying right there. That's where you go too far.
Magic and Harris.
That's where you go too far. True. Just enjoy the moment. It was a nice moment, and now you just gotta wait to see what happens in the regular season. Trying to help you not to get your hopes too high, so you don't come on here disappointed and then start yelling and starting to have guys fired and sending guys out of town.
That's the dilemma. And I've been here with this, so I don't know what to say. But I like what I saw. And I know y'all keep saying summer league and preseason don't matter. I disagree. This is good motivation. We are going to be better. Now, this week coming up, another great test at Cincinnati. Let's see what we do. Time to put up, shut up.
No Joe Burrow? You talking about week one? No, because they got Baltimore. No, you talking about
third preseason.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Calm down, man.
We gotta stop. We got Arizona. I think we're good there.
Yeah, because they have a fire sale. That's who I want to talk to is Jay, because it's a fire sale going on.
How long have I been telling you Arizona sports is a disaster?
Well, let's say that for the Cardinals. Let's say that for the Cardinals. We got to wait and see about the Suns.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm looking a little disappointing in the future. But that is the next question I really had for you. Why don't people put stock into preseason? Do y'all think people ain't trying? Like,
No, because the starters are not playing the whole game. That's really the bottom line because we really preseason is more so to figure out roles for your backups and for the end of your roster. So there is some value to it. I just don't think that there's any value in the wins and losses.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think when you're a bad franchise, you got to take what you can get. And we haven't been a franchise. Statistics speak to that. And I keep saying it, like I said about Jacksonville last year and Sacramento last year. If a couple things go right, Washington can be a good team. If we were in any other division, I would stamp us for the playoffs. But it's tough. So we'll see. We're going to see. I wanted to ask, you mentioned the Steph documentary. Have you got a chance to watch the Johnny Manziel documentary?
Nah, man, I'm behind. I haven't seen that one, and I haven't seen quarterback either. So I gotta catch up on. I gotta catch up on my documentaries.
I have not done quarterback either. However, I did watch Johnny Manziel's doc.
Talk to me. How was it?
It was somewhat insightful. You see a better glimpse into the life, and you realize in a very short period of time, a lot changed. But what I can tell you is he was good. Like, I knew he was good in high school, but he was really good in high school.
Okay.
First play of his high school career, touchdown on an 80-yard quarterback option. Gets called back. Next play, runs it the other way, 80 yards, touchdown. Like, just out the gate was just cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get into all the pay for play stuff. And he was very honest. So if the NCAA has any rules, they should have already knocked at his door. Which I'll get to my next topic in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a good doc. If you haven't seen it, it's a really quick watch, only maybe hour 20 minutes.
Okay.
It's pretty short.
Is it on Netflix as well?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
sure it is Netflix. But yeah, I think it's a good watch.
Yeah, I'll try to check that out this weekend.
What we got? Okay. So the reason I asked that, others have been clamoring for some time for the NCAA to do a better job with consistency, specifically in relation to Reggie Bush. He recently hit another hole-in-one. I think he said that's the third of his career. He's turned into a pretty good golfer. But similar to how I feel about Pete Rose, gambling is so publicized by sports today. It's ridiculous to not let him in the Hall of Fame at this point. I feel like players who took money, Chris Webber and the likes of any of those, given where we are today,
especially where we are today,
let that stuff go. Give them wins back to them coaches. Give them stats back to them players. Give them trophies back to those people who won them. Like, it looks foolish to have this ridiculous moral high ground. Same thing I feel about drug policies in this country. Like, we're past that now. Let them people go. You shouldn't be doing 30 years for weed. Like, Stephen A., I get it, but you shouldn't. So that's kind of my biggest takeaway is just do the right thing. Will they? I don't know. But that's my question for you. What are your thoughts, and what do you think will happen, if anything?
Yeah, I totally agree, man. You nailed it in terms of this is now everything that they were punishing these guys for is now legal. It's now has been legislated. you know what I'm saying, in terms of legalized, in terms of going to Congress, going to court, all of this good stuff to, to the point where now it's silly for us to look at these guys with with a level of judgment or eye judgment because they were just doing what is legal now. It just was under the table now. Now it's out in the open. So the fact that it's out in the open now, like we got to stop and we got to go back and give these guys their credit and stop judging these guys and stop, making them seem like they're pariahs or things of that nature because it just was something that was done all over the place. And then the other part for me, man, is that they have this selective outrage because like we talk about these issues and we talk about the different things that go on in the NCAA, and they have this selective outrage in terms of who they punish and how they punish people. Like I heard something now where they suspended a kid for LSU for some type of benefits. I'm like, why? Why are we still suspending kids for benefits? Because it's all supposed to be legal. So what benefits did he take that will cause him to be ineligible for a game? Because the NIL should have alleviated that or should have got rid of that. There shouldn't be any impermissible benefits. So I'm not understanding like there's no consistency with the NCAA, and I've been out on the NCAA for a long time. So I don't have any hope, to be honest with you, that things are going to be rectified because they pick and choose what they, who they want to persecute and who they don't want to persecute. Like, and another thing, and it's my last statement, like this whole Jim Harbaugh situation and his suspension, that's a joke. Like he's suspended for 3 games, but he's able to practice and he's there from Monday to Friday, but he can't be there on Saturday. If he's going to be suspended, he should not have no contact with the team whatsoever. He should not be able to be allowed to be on campus for those 3 weeks. Like, this is just nonsense. So I'm just out on the NCAA, and I don't have any faith in them. They're going to do the right thing.
Yeah, they've let me down quite a few times, and I don't think this would be any different. It would be great if they could turn the corner and modernize and get with the times, but too often that doesn't happen. Not at their expense. Like they'll punish someone else, they'll allow teams to move, which is going to cause ridiculous travel schedules for other types of students and all that stuff. But when it comes to them admitting fault or making things right, I just haven't seen that. And that's unfortunate. But at some point in NCAA and potentially even in this country, we will get some of those old-minded thinking people out and get fresher, newer-minded people in. So I think it's unfortunate, but I agree with you. I don't know that much is going to happen on his behalf. I do know that Ben Crump, who's a civil rights lawyer, really popular,
to that man,
is taking up a law or a petition on behalf of Reggie Bush with plans to file a lawsuit. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and hopefully the NCAA will do the right thing or be forced to if they don't.
As an aside, did they do a 30 for? Did they ever do a 30 for 30 on Reggie Bush? I don't remember.
I thought they might have did one on USC.
I know they did one on USC, but I don't know. I wonder if they did one on Reggie Bush.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one. I wonder if I wonder if he kind of kept his rights so he could do his own documentary. Because I would definitely want to see that story.
Yeah, where did I see something about him recently? I think someone is doing a documentary on him. I feel like
okay, great. Yeah, I definitely want to tune in for that one.
So yeah. Breaking news for those who care. Trump's mugshot has been released, ladies and gentlemen. It is available to the viewing public, and the internet is ablaze.
Oh gosh!
So if you've had a rough day, go over to your local Twitter and just scroll. I think you will find joy
Yeah, the internet never misses, boy, when it comes to that.
Listen, I don't hate the guy. I think he was solid, but funny's funny. So got to be consistent. Yeah. So let's get out west, and there's actually been some updated news here in relation to Trey Lance, who, for some apparent reason, they want to trade him or are not committed to him. And I
No,
guess
I think he's out of there.
like, did something happen? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, so they named Sam Darnold as the backup. So he's the number 3 now.
Oh, so they're saying it is Purdy's team.
Yeah, Purdy's the 1, Darnold's the 2, and now Trey Lance is the 3.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This has to go down as one of the bigger goofs. Bigger goofs. Now, the team has still managed to be successful, so it doesn't hurt as bad. But boy, oh boy,
Man.
Shanahan. And let me also say this, I'm trolling them. I think this is a mistake. I know what Sam Darnold is. I saw him last year. I've seen him the year before that. Saw him the year before that. Probably saw him the year before that. There's nothing there. Absolutely nothing there. So that's pretty disappointing to hear that. I feel like the kid hasn't been healthy. But maybe this is a win now window and they don't have time to waste with Debo and C-Mac.
Yeah, I think that's more so what it is.
And you know what that is? And I typically wouldn't say this, and I don't think this is emblematic of the history, but that's the sign of a bad franchise. You're going to rush your potential quarterback for the next 15 years because you don't want to wait 2. And so you'll be back in the draft because Purdy nor Darnold is the answer, in my opinion. Purdy maybe.
But we gotta see him do it over a whole season. Like we just got half a season in terms of the sample size. So we got to see this guy now that now that the book is out on him, now that the film is out on him, now that teams have had a chance to, now that teams really have a chance to game plan for him. Now we got to see if he's really the goods.
And that's a heck of a risk.
Absolutely.
You've now alienated your best backup plan. I don't understand what the heck San Francisco's doing. But the state of California, they've been on some bull crap for a minute. Every day I watch a video of somebody going in the store and just walking out, just robbing. It's crazy. It's anarchy. And this is stupid. I hope he lands somewhere. I think the skill set's there. I think the talent is there. I think he's more than capable. I just think he needs some time. I wouldn't even hate if he went a little further south. I don't know who the backup is in LA, but I think he needs to be with a creative offensive coach.
Yeah. That's actually a good one. I would be interested to see if they would not kick the tires. I don't want to say that, but if McVay would be interested in trading for him, because especially now, like you're basically, and here's the other part that we didn't even talk about. You just made him the number 3. So even if you want to put him in a trade, you totally devalued the guy. So like you got a number 3 pick that you're probably not even going to get. You probably gonna have to get a mid round, a 4th or 5th round pick for the guy that you picked at number 3. So you like,
I'm not giving you that. I'll wait for you to cut it.
But I'm just saying, like, if you was trying to make a deal, you didn't help yourself at all.
Yeah, terrible negotiate. And like I said, I think the talent is there. He looked okay the other day. He got some run. I thought he looked decent. Like, I don't know, but they got to live with it. So more power to them. But I think they made a mistake, which leads me to my question of the NFC West. Obviously, things have been moving and changing. But if you had to rank them, how you got them? Best to worst.
Well, San Francisco. I'm gonna put San Francisco number one, but I think Seattle's right on their heels. I think Gino has kind of found his niche, found his place, and I think that defense is on the rise. And they have some serious weaponry in terms of their skill position. Just a matter of if Kenneth Walker can stay healthy. But yeah, I'm gonna put San Francisco number one because I feel like between their weapons and the defense, I think that their defense is more established and a little more consistent. So I'm gonna give it to San Fran right now. But the question, like we said, it could definitely flip because Brock Purdy has to prove that this wasn't a fluke. So if he doesn't prove that this wasn't a fluke, then they're going to be, right back to kind of what you were talking about in terms of searching for another quarterback. So I'm going to give San Francisco the nod right now, but like I said, Seattle's right on their heels. And I'm going to put the Rams 3 and Arizona 4 because, like I said, Arizona's in the fire sale and they're clearly just going to clear the decks and try to do a full rebuild. That's what it looks like right now. So, yeah, San Fran, Seattle, the Rams, and Arizona.
Okay. I like it, but I am. Do I want to do this?
Yeah, I understand because I was flip flopping in my head between those two.
Yeah. You got. I'm gonna do it. Nope, I ain't doing it. I'm going San Francisco. I think Kyle Shanahan figured out. And prayers for the Colts player getting carted off right now. I didn't catch his name, but hopefully for the best. I don't know if Gino can do it again, and I don't know if it was a fluke or if he just improved. But if he does that again, they'll win that division. And then I'm with you. Cardinals definitely last. They might not win 5 games. And then the Rams, third. So, yeah. The last question I have for you, Coach. So this tees up perfectly. Who is the best coach in the NFC West?
This was another one that I was flip flopping.
Kingsbury, Carroll.
Oh, he's out.
They fired Kingsbury?
Yeah. And they hired the guy from Philly.
You are right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's out. So
Steven, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Okay. No, I'm fine. You're fine. This is another one that's close for me. Well, actually, you can make a case for 3 out of the 4. Because you got 2 Super Bowl winners in Pete Carroll and McVay. You got another one that's been to a Super Bowl in Shanahan. So I'm going to put everything into it in terms of the team, the talent, the coach, system, all of that, and putting all those things into it. I'm going to give Kyle Shanahan a slight nod because of the fact that he basically has been able to do this with, especially between last year and with a pretty much everyone would consider a glorified game manager and Jimmy Garoppolo, and a 7th round draft pick that she was able to plug in and put in and wound up getting all the way to the NFC Championship game. So I think the thing that puts it over the top for me for Shanahan is the fact that he was able to elevate that team without a franchise quarterback, whereas with all of the other 2 guys, they've had franchise quarterbacks. just recently with McVay, when he won his championship, he had a franchise quarterback, and then Pete Carroll had a franchise quarterback, and a all-time great defense. So yeah, that's the thing. That's the separator for me to put Shanahan on top. Then I'm gonna put Pete Carroll because I gotta, again, I gotta give Pete Carroll his props because I was on that. It's time for him to kind of go into the sunset. I thought that he was losing his mojo. I thought he was losing, kind of his grip on the team. I thought like things were kind of turning south, but it seems like it was Russell Wilson that was fading. It wasn't Pete Carroll per se. So the fact that he was able to again plug you. What was you gonna say?
No, I was saying talk about it.
Yeah, the fact that he's able to plug Geno Baker into and believe in Geno Baker and give him the opportunity, and then see him turn around and lead the team to the playoffs. I think this says a lot about Pete Carroll, and that's why I'm putting him over Sean McVay because basically that team was really a one-year wonder in a lot of sense because after winning that Super Bowl, they basically went into the tank the following season. So he hasn't had the sustained level of success that Pete Carroll has had. So I got to put him over. I got to put Pete Carroll over McVay, and then of course. Arizona coach, his name escapes me, but he's just I think it's Steichen. Not Steichen. Steichen's in Indianapolis. It's the defensive coordinator. Gannon, yes, Gannon. So I got to put him number at last because we still got to prove. He still got to prove that he's going to be able to get the job done. So yeah, Shanahan 1, Pete Carroll 2, McVay 3, and then Gannon 4.
Blasphemous. Absolutely blasphemous. Do you remember the great USC? We touched on them earlier. That was Pete Carroll.
Yeah, but that's college.
Hey, then what'd he do? Took Russell Wilson, formulated a game plan and system to defy the odds in the Pacific Northwest, a non-destination, a bunch of misfits and ragtags and personalities. And he managed it all like Phil Jackson did the Bulls. And if it wasn't for Tom Brady and a bad play call or a great execution, Malcolm Butler, he'd have 2 rings. McVay got his 1. Shanahan has none. And although I have loved how he has managed his situation and dealt with the injuries and figured out ways to overcome, the answer is Pete Carroll. Simple and plain. Now, if we want to debate the 2 young pups, you go at it. We got 1 ring. There's no ring. We got overcomes with less talent. We got super loaded talent that took the win. One guy managed to break through with Matt Stafford, made a big decision. Like Kyle's dad, had to make a decision to switch quarterbacks. And he did it. And they won. Daggone it, they won. So I got Carroll. I got McVay. I got Shanahan. And I got
Wow.
Heard it here first. And keep in mind, McVay and Shanahan were in Washington. Go figure. We stuck with Jay frickin' Gruden. His coaching tree is going to be great, even though he was a terrible coach. Touchdown Colts. Where is Chris when you need him? Where is Chris? Go, go! But that's all I got for you. We season starts what day? It doesn't start next Thursday, does it? It's Thursday after that?
Following. Yeah, we got college football starting this weekend. Week
Okay.
0. Yeah, we got a little week 0. And then the following weekend, Labor Day weekend.
How many games you got Colorado football winning?
I'd say 5 or 6. I think they're still going to. I think he's going to struggle a little bit, just because of the turnover. I think they're going to struggle a little bit, and so they won't have the depth that they would need. So I think he's going to struggle a little bit, but I think I'm going to say 5 or 6.
At TCU to start the season, what happens?
I don't know, man. I got a bad feeling. I feel like they might get smacked out the gate. I'm a little nervous for that one.
I have a similar concern in the headlines that will follow, but at least they get to follow it up with Nebraska.
Yeah,
we can get right there. But yeah, I don't see a good start, but I'm hopeful. I was in Denver, Colorado, had an opportunity to drive to Boulder, but I passed on it. We ended up going to a Red Rock Park, National Park, really cool. Excuse me. But shout out to Coach Prime. Wish you the best, my friend.
Yes, sir. You don't get it right, though.
Coach, get in the books. Get your research together, because it's coming a time where you are going to have to pick. And I don't want to see what happens.
I'm going to tell you, we're going to put this on the record right now. I will guarantee you that I will not have the same pitiful performance that I had last year. You can put that on the books.
You heard it here first, Coach Kenny. He will have a better year. I, too, although the stakes are high, the bar is the Eiffel Tower tall, but I just got to be me, you know. I set the bar high. I want to be the greatest, like Steph Curry. And so if I'm going to do that, I got to continue to elevate.
You did see what Michael Jordan said, right? But with that's
the worst GM of NBA history.
No.
Are we taking his advice on talent?
Michael Jordan said, "Who's the best point guard?" That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm asking. And normally, I would obviously it's MJ in basketball. When it comes to player evaluation, he's like the worst. So, unfortunately for him, that didn't mean much to me coming from him, because I've seen the type of players you think are good, and he kind of outside of Kobe, he don't really reach back to his generation, so they're a little bitter too. But Mike, we love you. I'm just telling you like how I see it. But I did see it. Shout out to Mike. I like that he's being more outspoken. Now he don't got to say, who was it? Was it what list? Did we do the list? Was it Dominique or Julius Erving's top 10?
Oh, yeah. I think we touched on that. That was him, his bias for his era.
And I think that's what we're seeing here. That's all I'm going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a blast. It's been a pleasure, but our time has come. We will have picks for y'all next week. Enjoy the weekend, and we got some fights on the horizon. I know we ain't mentioned it, but some fights are on the horizon in the next month or two. We got fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. Big fights. And we will cover here on ASAP. Y'all have a blast. We out.